Good morning, everyone. Caitlin here from Enso Theater Ensemble, and for today's daily mindfulness, I thought that I would spend a little time talking about creativity because I don't know about you, but I am certainly feeling both a pressure to create right now as a maker myself, and a desire to create, and I'm trying to acknowledge that there's both of those things and that they're separate. And so I came up with a little mindfulness practice that is intended to support the desire that you have to make something right now. And whether you identify yourself as an artist or you just identify yourself as someone that loves to make anything, you're a baker, you like to make incredible birthday cards, whatever it is, this is a really beautiful time period in the sense that creativity is an outlet, it's a distraction, it's an inspiration, it's something that I see lots of people engaging in, not just self-identified artists, and you should, because creativity is wonderful and incredible and very self-soothing, and it's a good thing. So I thought I would do a practice that was creative. So we're gonna make some stuff today, really quick, and we are also gonna address imposter syndrome and the fear of making something that isn't perfect. And we're gonna start with some breath and then some stretches, and we'll warm up a little bit, and then we're gonna do some writing. So you will need a pen and a journal for this practice. And you are welcome to do this along with me, or you can just rewatch the video when we repost it later, whatever you like to do, but we are gonna go ahead and get started. So grab a pen, grab a journal, grab some Post-it notes, and let's do this thing. So, like always, we're gonna get started by lighting our candle, and we remind ourselves that the candle is representative of the time that we are taking for self-care in this moment. And we're just going to set that there. And just go ahead and find yourself in a nice, comfy, seated position. You might be on a chair, you might be on a couch, you might be in bed. Dude, if you're in bed right now, yes, you're doing it right. So I'm just going to be seated here. I have a little cushion underneath my hips just to make it a little bit more comfortable. And just make sure that your spine is nice and straight, that you're not leaning back, heading into sleepy mode. We just want to try to be awake, and you can place your hands on your knees like this. You can turn your hands facing up if you feel like you want a little bit more of an open energy today, or you could place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And I invite you to gently close your eyes or cast them downward. 3 big breaths. Off we go. Big inhale all the way to the top. Big exhale, release all the air out. Big inhale all the way to the top. Big exhale, everything out. Big inhale, last one. Fill those lungs, fill to the front, to the back, to the sides, and big exhale, let something go. Beautiful. If your hands are up top like mine are, you can gently bring them down to your knees. Gently bat your eyes open. And now we're going to move our bodies a little bit. So, we are going to start by taking your hands and interlacing your fingers. And your fingers are going to come all the way to the front and then all the way up top into a nice big waking up stretch. And you might move your arms side to side here. We're just trying to wake up some parts of our body before we get making today. Big, big stretch up. And then your hands from here are going to come all the way down to the front. and you are going to allow your chest to sink backwards. So your chest is going to head back behind you with your hands coming in front like this. Big inhale. And as you exhale, your chest is going to meet your hands like this. Good. So let's do that whole thing one more time. So your hands come forward and up. And big, big stretch here. Maybe a little side to side. Big inhale. Big exhale. Hands come to front. And your chest sinks back. Big inhale. Chest meets your hands. Good. A little bit faster. Hands come front. All the way up. And exhale all the way back. And inhale. And exhale, chest to hands. Good, really, really nice. Let that go, let that go. Good. Now your chest is going to come forward and to the side and to the back and to the side and to the front. Now the other way, to the side, to the back, to the side, to the front. Good, and then we're going to go, and maybe your arms go all into it. Oh boy, here we go. We're going around, it's happening. And now we're going to go the other way. Ooh, we're just rolling that spine through, really waking up those muscles. Really, really nice. And any direction that feels good. Lovely. Okay, good. So that's upper body. So now take your foot, and I'm just going to hold up my foot so that you can see it, but you just have your foot gently comfortable wherever is comfy for you. But now we're just going to go ahead and do a little quick foot massage here. So a little quick foot massage, sending some love, some gratitude to your feet. Thank you, feet, for supporting me all day long. Up your calf and your shin, up to your knee and to your thigh. Just gentle little squeezes, waking it up. And if the massage doesn't feel great, you can just do some rubbing, or you can even just do some patting like this, just to wake it up a little bit. Good, next one. Okay, so now we're going to do this foot. Little gentle massage. Waking it up. Getting the blood flowing. We make with our entire body, right? It's a full body. It's a full body experience. So we want to make sure that every part of our body is awake and ready to make stuff. That's right. All right, good. And with that, we're going to get resettled onto our cushion, wherever you're at. Nice big inhale in. Nice big exhale out. Okay, so grab your journal. Open it up to a nice blank page. And yeah, that'll work for me. And then I'm going to set a timer. You can set a timer for yourself if you'd like, but I will guide you so you don't have to. And I'm going to set a timer for 60 seconds. And so for 60 seconds, I just want you to write everything that you are noticing that's arising for you in this moment. What does that mean? That means everything from like, oh, my left arm is kind of itchy right now. I have some tension in my right shoulder. I'm feeling anxious. This is feeling weird. I don't know what to write. Literally just stream of conscious thoughts as they arise. But I'm going to ask you to do it in a particular way. So the way that I want you to think about this is I want you to think about it as when something arises, especially a feeling, a thought, it is separate from you. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are its own thing that rises and falls and comes and goes. So as your thoughts arise, you are going to address them as, oh, anxiety is here. Imposter syndrome is here. Weirdness is here. Laughter is here, right? So you're going to address it as this entity that's not necessarily attached to you. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to name it, see it, it's there, it's in the room, acknowledge that it's in the room, but you no longer have to be controlled by it, right? You don't have to grab onto it and be like, I'm anxious, yeah? And this is a process, right? We're learning, we're going one day at a time, nice and slow. So 60 seconds, you're going to write everything that you notice, everything that's arising in this moment. Nice big deep breath in. Off you go. And pens down. Beautiful. Okay, so just because many of you may not have done this exercise before, I'm going to read you back my like what was happening with me in that moment. So here are some things I wrote. I wrote, self-consciousness is here because I'm on camera. So yes, I'm very self-conscious right now. Then I wrote, breath is here. I'm aware of my candle. Jaw tension is here. Creaky neck is here. Breath is here. Smiling is here. Awareness of the time is here. So that's just an example of just one take on how things were arising for me in that particular moment. So go ahead and take your journal, hold it out in front of you, reread what you wrote, and just notice what arises now as you're reading this again. It could be that there's a significant amount of fear today. That's okay. Just acknowledge that your fear is here with you, but it is not in the driver's seat. You are in the driver's seat. And that's part of the creative process, right? Is that all of these things, they're part of what make you, you. They're part of what makes your work so real and beautiful and powerful. They have to be there with you. Your imposter syndrome has to exist with you. That's a really important part of being an artist, of figuring out who you are, of carving out your journey. So it's not that they can't be there. We're just practicing not allowing them to control our work. So big inhale in, take a look at what you wrote. Big inhale. Let that go. Acknowledge that all these fellows are here. Let them be in the back seat. And close your journal. And let your journal be somewhere near you so that it remains, words. So that they can exist with you while you're making, but they're not defining you. So go ahead and set that next to you. Next task. So now what we're going to do, now we're going to make. And so what we're building here, what I would love to gift to you is, this is a routine that you can start to set up as your daily creative practice, right? So you show up on your cushion and you do your little warm-up and you do your breaths and you write down, you acknowledge what's here with you in the moment so that you're paying attention to those fears, paying attention to that anxiety. You set it aside and then you make for a time-boxed period of time. Why? Why a time-boxed period of time, Caitlin? Because it is so easy to start on day one really big and not show up for day two. And what we're trying to create here is a routine, right? Is a habitual creative mindset. And to create a habit, you're literally carving a neural pathway, a new neural pathway in your brain. And to do that takes repetition and consistency, which means that your creative practice has to start small. Because there's no way, unless you are just some unbelievable, force of nature in the world, I don't know how you start something that is I am going to do my creative practice for 2 hours every day. I've never done anything like that before, and I'm going to start today and for the rest of my life, 2 hours every single day. That's like just running from 0 to 60, right? So the idea is you want to create the habit of just showing up, right? You're creating a habit of showing up, addressing your demons, and making stuff anyway. So how do we do that? Itty bitty steps, super, super small. So you're going to start with 3 minutes today. Today I'm going to give you 3 minutes to work on a creative anything. You can do whatever you like. I have some prompts for writing that I will give you, and you can use those prompts to make a video. You can use those prompts to make a dance. You can use those prompts to make a painting, write a story. There's lots of different creative uses that you can use with these prompts that are very open-ended. But you are also welcome just to do your own thing for 3 minutes, whatever you like. So, itty bitty, small steps, just trying to get you to show up on your cushion every single day. Not every other day. Every single day. We're trying to create a habit, right? And so just a quick glimpse into the future. The way that that develops over time, right, is if you gift yourself the self-compassion to say, hey, if I just show up every day, like I literally sit down, I open up my journal, and I put my pen to the page, I win. If I can do that every day for a month, then I can start extending it to, now I'm going to write a sentence every day. And I'm going to write a sentence every day for 2 weeks. And then after 2 weeks, I'm going to try to write 2 sentences. And just by showing up, that is how you create routine. And this is not, by the way, this is not my advice. This is when I was learning how to meditate, how to cultivate a mindfulness practice. This was the advice that was given by Buddhist monks that I was listening to their tapes and like learning how to set up a routine. And basically what they say is like, don't try to meditate every day. Just try to get your butt on the cushion. And if you get your butt on the cushion, you're like, okay, butt on the cushion. I'm good. Gonna go do the rest of my day now. That's how you create routine. Anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and make some stuff. So I've got my pen. I'm gonna set my timer, and I've got some prompts here on Post-it notes, and I've specifically done it on Post-it notes so that I can place them somewhere as like, ooh, like I want to remember this idea. This is a really cool idea. Or, right, to be able to branch them out from each other. Just, I love Post-it notes. Do you love Post-it notes? Post-it notes are the best. Heck yes. So, grab your Post-it note, and 3 minutes starting now. Your first prompt is, she hated that she couldn't think of anything else except, and all you have to do is fill in the blank. She hated that she couldn't think of anything else except. Okay, I filled in mine. I'm going to move on to the second one. Second prompt. They stepped forward and immediately blank. They stepped forward and immediately blank. Great. Third one, ready? He was being swept away, and all he could do was look up and watch. He was being swept away, and all he could do was look up and watch. Blank. He was being swept away, and all he could do was look up and watch. That might just be the end of a sentence, too, depending on how you take it. Off you go. Okay, great. I still have 1 more minute on my clock. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at these and I'm going to try to see if they speak to each other. So let's see. I actually don't know that mine do necessarily, unless I wrote more, but I do like, I think this is like, if I was going to do beginning, middle, and end, I think this would be my beginning. And I'll read these out in a second. And then I think this would be something that happens in the middle. And I think this would be closer to the end. I'll let that one go. All right, so now I have 3 ideas, and that's the end of 3 minutes, by the way. So go ahead and set your pens down, set down your paints or whatever you're working on, your dance. Sorry, I didn't mean to mock dance. I love dance. I'm a dancer. So that was not mocking in any particular way. So 3 prompts for you to make this week, and I would time box it again, right? Because the thing about setting yourself goals or setting yourself tasks is it's super easy to go, I'm gonna make the greatest podcast known to man. And that's amazing. And you have to have those dreams. You have to have that big wide scope. But the only way you get to your big wide scope is by then going, okay, here's my big wide scope. Now, what can I do today to start moving in the direction of that? And I really love to make it even smaller, like what can I do in the next 10 minutes, right? What can I do in the next hour? So, 3 ideas. Here's what I wrote. I wrote, he was being swept away and all he could do was look up and watch as he faded into the distance. So there's something interesting about this to me, because there was something about, like, to me, he was like watching himself fade into the distance. I don't know, kind of curious. The next one I wrote is, she hated that she couldn't think of anything else except those ridiculous red shoes. I just couldn't get the red shoe fairy tale out of my head, so it was really, that's kind of where my brain went. And then they stepped forward and immediately felt an excruciating pain. So, these were the prompts that I came up with. If you want to share your prompts, I would love that. I'm sure like everybody watching would love more creative prompts. So to wrap up our session, right? And in summary, right? If you're going to create this as your routine, we did our candle and like our initial check-in. We warmed up our bodies. We did a brain dump of everything we are experiencing in this moment. And then we did 3 minutes of making. So 4 little things. And then to close, at the very, very end, we're going to go ahead and resettle ourselves onto our cushion. I invite you to close your eyes or cast them downward. Take a big deep breath in. Inhale. Big exhale. Release. I invite you to bring your mind 3 minutes. 3 minutes of making tomorrow. No longer, but also no less. Visualize yourself showing up and completing your 3 minutes. Take 1 more big deep breath in. Release. And allow yourself, for even just the briefest of moments, to feel good that you showed up today. Showing up is 99% of the work. Beautiful. Beautiful. Gently bat your eyes open, wiggle your fingers and toes. We're gonna grab, what was that? We're gonna grab our candle. Go ahead and grab your candle if you have one. And a reminder that the candle is representative of this time that we took for ourselves for self-care today. And it is also a very good reminder that the reason we practice mindfully, the reason we create mindfully, is so that we can be more present and able to be there for other people. So, big inhale in, big breath out, release that candle. Beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. If anybody has any questions, please leave comments below. I see I've got a couple of you watching, which is great. It's really, really nice to see your lovely faces. I'd love to hear from you if you gave this a go, if you tried it, or if you have any prompts for other creatives to take and steal today and make their own. Y'all are wonderful. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye. Ooh. Hello. And we're gonna head out. Thanks for joining me.